This is the Chinese megaproject that proves America is 100 years behind. While American politicians debate infrastructure bills for decades, China completed this project in just 5 years, and it's so advanced that Western engineers are still trying to understand how they did it. The technology involved doesn't just surpass anything America has built, it makes American infrastructure look like it belongs in a museum. The project's completion sent shockwaves through Western governments and engineering firms who realized they weren't just behind, they were competing in an entirely different league. European executives flew to China just to witness what their countries could never accomplish, while American officials quietly began reassessing their own infrastructure capabilities. But to understand how one project could expose a century-long technological gap, we need to explore the Chinese megaprojects that shocked the West. Starting with the transportation system that moves more people than entire countries. 10. Beijing Daxing International Airport, $17.5 billion. Beijing Daxing International Airport didn't just break construction records, it redefined what airports could become when unlimited resources meet cutting-edge design. Built in just 4 years, this airport handles 100 million passengers annually, through a terminal so massive it's visible from space. Yet passengers can walk from security to any gate in under 8 minutes, thanks to revolutionary design principles that Western airports are still trying to copy. But Daxing's true innovation lies in systems most travelers never see. The airport operates using artificial intelligence that manages everything from baggage handling to air traffic control, creating efficiency levels that make traditional airports look primitive. Their facial recognition technology processes passengers without documents, while automated systems track luggage with 99.9% accuracy through RFID chips and real-time monitoring. The terminals designed by Zaha Hadid creates not just aesthetic beauty, but functional efficiency that traditional airport layouts cannot match. The starfish-shaped structure minimizes walking distances while maximizing natural light, reducing energy consumption by 40% compared to conventional airports. Underground, automated trains connect terminals faster than most cities' subway systems. Construction employed over 40,000 workers operating in coordinated shifts that never stopped, with concrete poured continuously for months to create foundations capable of supporting structures weighing millions of tons. The project consumed materials from across China while employing technologies that didn't exist when construction began. Daxing's environmental systems process wastewater, generate renewable energy, and maintain perfect climate control across millions of square feet using integrated technologies that operate like a single organism. The airport doesn't just handle flights, it's a completely self-contained city that could operate independently during emergencies. Western aviation officials who toured Daxing admitted they were witnessing airport design that wouldn't appear in Europe or America for decades, if ever. But while Daxing revolutionized air travel, the next project took transportation to an entirely different dimension, one where physics itself seemed to bend to Chinese engineering. 9. Qinghai-Tibet Railway, $25 billion. The Qinghai-Tibet Railway accomplished what Western engineers declared impossible, building a functioning railroad across the highest plateau on Earth through conditions that kill unprotected humans in minutes. The track climbs to 16,640 feet above sea level, higher than most mountains in Europe, while crossing permafrost that shifts unpredictably and terrain where oxygen levels drop to barely sustainable levels. But the engineering challenges went far beyond altitude and weather. Chinese engineers had to solve problems that don't exist anywhere else on Earth. How to lay tracks on permafrost that melts and refreezes, how to maintain equipment in temperatures that drop to -40 degrees Fahrenheit, and how to keep passengers alive at altitudes where most people would lose consciousness without supplemental oxygen. The solution involved technologies that seemed like science fiction to Western observers. The trains use pressurized cabins like aircraft, with oxygen systems that maintain breathable atmosphere throughout the journey. The track sits on thermosiphons that prevent permafrost from melting, using passive cooling systems that require no external power, yet maintain ground stability across hundreds of miles. Construction required moving equipment to locations accessible only by helicopter, with workers operating in shifts to prevent altitude sickness while building bridges across gorges that span distances equivalent to city blocks. The project consumed 5 years of continuous construction, despite weather windows that lasted only months each year. The railway's completion connected Tibet to China's main transportation network for the first time in history, reducing travel time from days to hours while maintaining passenger safety standards that exceed international aviation requirements. Medical facilities along the route provide emergency care for altitude-related conditions, while the trains themselves carry medical equipment typically found in hospitals. Western transportation officials admitted the railway represented engineering capabilities their countries simply didn't possess, requiring coordination between government agencies, military logistics, and private contractors that democratic systems couldn't replicate. The railway conquered vertical space, but the next project took on horizontal distances that made entire continents seem small. 8. Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge, $20 billion. The Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge spans 34 miles across the Pearl River Delta, but calling it a bridge understates its complexity. It's an integrated system of bridges, tunnels, and artificial islands that required engineering solutions no country had ever attempted. The project connects 3 separate legal systems, currencies, and governments through infrastructure that operates seamlessly, despite political complexities that would paralyze most international projects. But the bridge's true innovation lies in its underwater tunnel sections that allow massive ships to pass overhead while maintaining vehicle traffic flow. Chinese engineers created artificial islands specifically to house tunnel entrances, using techniques that involved building land where none existed before, then constructing underground passages through seabeds that had never been excavated at such depths. The bridge withstands typhoons with wind speeds exceeding 200 miles per hour, earthquakes up to magnitude 8.0, and ship collisions from vessels weighing over 300,000 tons. Its design life exceeds 120 years through materials and construction techniques that surpass international bridge building standards by margins that impressed even skeptical Western engineers. Construction coordination involved 3 separate governments with different legal systems, currencies, and regulatory requirements. Yet the project completed on schedule through diplomatic and engineering cooperation that most international projects never achieve. Workers from Hong Kong, mainland China, and Macau collaborated using translation systems and shared technical standards developed specifically for the bridge. The bridge's traffic management systems use artificial intelligence to optimize vehicle flow, while monitoring structural integrity in real time through sensors embedded throughout the span. Emergency response capabilities include helicopter landing platforms, medical facilities, and communication systems that operate independently of mainland infrastructure. Environmental protection measures exceeded international standards, with marine life preservation programs and air quality monitoring that maintained ecosystem health throughout construction. The project demonstrated that massive infrastructure could coexist with environmental responsibility through careful planning and advanced technology. Although the bridge connected existing cities, the next project created an entirely new metropolis from nothing, at a scale that made Western urban planning look quaint. 7. Three Gorges Dam, $30 billion.